Hi guys, my name is Alicia
I'm Amelia.
and we're both juniors in Scarsdale High School. Today we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome and self-deprecation and like this culture of not having self-confidence in Scarsdale High School. So I guess we can start by defining imposter syndrome. On like a very general broad sense of the term, it has to do with like not feeling as if you deserve what you have or not feeling qualified to be where you are. And I guess in Scarsdale High School, I think there's like a big culture around it because, at least from my experience, it's very competitive here, like academically. And I know that it's a public high school, which is why like the term imposter like doesn't really I guess resonate because anybody can be here. It's not like we applied to get here. But like my feeling at least is that there's so many people here who are just very talented and like I don't know, I just feel like I feel unqualified sometimes to be in some of my higher classes or like that my friends are more talented than I am.
Yeah, and what I was saying before, imposter syndrome is like when external validation doesn't lead to internal validation. So like even when all your teachers and our friends are like, "Oh my God, you're so good at like X, Y, and Z," you still feel like you're not good at it.
Yeah, exactly. I guess the thing with that, like, we also wanted to talk about self deprecation in Scarsdale High School because, like, especially I feel like nationwide actually, there's this sort of culture around self deprecation. Like, it's sort of like a defense mechanism almost because when people like praise you and you don't know how to respond, you're like, oh, actually, I'm not that good at it. You know what I mean? But like for some people, it's more than a rhetoric. Like I feel like if you say it too many times, it becomes like something that you just think about like internally.
Is that something that you do?
Yeah. Well, me
Yeah.
personally?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. I've been on a personal growth journey to
Wow.
stop using self-deprecating humor because like I don't know, I find it actually kind of irritating when people like are visibly good at things and then they don't like recognize it. Like I know that some people do it in like a mocking manner. Like they're like, "Oh, I'm so bad at like whatever." And people are like, "No, you're actually good at it." It's like fishing for compliments, you know what I mean? But some people like actually have like genuine
Self-esteem issues,
self-esteem
yeah.
problems. Yeah.
So, how do you like if someone's like, "No, you're actually really good," like do you think that it's too arrogant to just be like, "Yeah, I know."
I I feel like at one point like if it's just like you got like a 99 on a test and people are like applauding you, there's nothing you can deny. You can't be like this is a fluke. Like that's just what are you saying? You know what I
So it's
mean?
like, how do you be confident in yourself, but also like humble and relatable?
Yeah, I mean, those two don't have to be like conflicting, right?
Yeah, they shouldn't be, but
They are. No, I feel like it's hard to master like the balance between them. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
we need
And
like better ways, or maybe we should just stop talking about school and grades.
yeah, that's a thing too. Because I feel like whenever I like talk to my friends, I'm always talking about like school and grades, and then like sometimes I'm like, okay, we should stop talking about it, and then there's like nothing to talk about. Because
That's kind of
also,
sad.
yeah, because like a lot of my friends who are not like close friends are like school friends. Like I'm only friends with them because I'm in classes with them. So then if I don't talk about that, then like there's really nothing to say. Oh, I have a good conversation starter though.
Hmm.
It's my favorite conversation starter, and I use it all the time. Well, it doesn't really apply now, but I say, "Have you listened to Lil Nas X's new album?" I'm such a fan of Lil Nas
That's
X.
that's
Anyways,
not a good conversation starter.
it's such a good conversation
Then
starter.
people won't want to be friends with you.
I know, but like, I'm not gonna obscure who I really am in conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. What are some of your conversation starters?
Uh,
You don't.
I don't have any because I don't talk to people.
You talk to me. I'm so offended.
Yeah, only because yeah, I don't really know why I talk to you.
Okay. Okay. Um, yeah. Oh, I also wanted to talk about like, um, I feel like it's self-deprecation is like a super big thing among girls, especially. Like,
Mhm.
I'm in art club. I'm an officer for art club, and whenever I talk to people about, well, first of all, art club is like 99% female. Like there's maybe one guy in the club. Actually, there's two. But like, you know what I mean? It's majority female. But whenever I talk to them, like a lot of them are also like introverts. Um, and whenever I try to like praise somebody's art or well, some of them just say thank you, but when I say like, oh, you should get it featured on like our Instagram, or when you should get it featured like at the Scarsdale Youth Art Show, which is happening soon, they're like, oh, well, I don't feel like I'm talented enough for that. And that to me is like a very frustrating experience. I'm not blaming them, like I don't blame them for not having self-confidence, but it's like that bridge between external validation and internal validation. Like, how do I get to them? Like, how do I tell them that, like, their art is genuinely impressive to me, right? And, like, when that happens, like, people don't, I guess, like, take it into their heart that, like, people are actually talented.
Or I have something to say about that. It might also be because, like, the source that the praise is coming from, they don't like think it counts, since
Right.
if you're an officer in the art club that they're going to, like, of course you're going to say that their art is good. Like, you want them to continue going to art club or whatever.
Right.
So, like, I don't know, it depends on, like, whose opinions people value
That's true.
or
And
think
now,
are valuable. So
and now
basically
I'm
no one cares
offended
about you.
because no one cares about me. No, but for real, like, I don't know. I mean, it is like a strange position to be in. But I'm going to say that, like, if I don't like your art, I'm not going to praise it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. Like,
It's
if
like
I
that with anything.
if I don't like it, then I probably won't say anything about it.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And, yeah, do you have anything to add, Amelia?
I mean, okay, I don't really think I've felt imposter syndrome at school that much, but I can see it sometimes, like, in my English or history classes. Like, I'm way more hesitant to raise my hand or participate in class, even though, like, I don't know, it's not really, like, you can be wrong. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm just, like, not as comfortable talking in those classes, so I, like, don't push myself to participate, and then consequently, you don't learn as much, which is just, like, that's one of the results of, I guess, imposter syndrome. It's like you won't get as much out of an experience than you normally would have.
Right. Like I get that too, not in English or history, but in math especially. Like I just came out of math class and whenever he asks a question, like I have an answer in my head, but on the off chance that it's actually wrong, I just don't raise my hand. Like
Yeah.
I never participate in a math class and it feels good when like somebody else says what I was thinking and the teacher is like, "Oh, that's right." But like I just don't have the confidence to take that risk in math class because
Yeah.
like part of me is like math is not my greatest subject.
And it literally doesn't even make any sense because if you're wrong, like, no one's going to remember that you were wrong. And
That's
you're
true.
probably not going to remember. Or maybe you will.
Well, I would. Like I don't
Just
know.
think about, like, the embarrassing moments that happened to you 3 years ago. I do that.
Yeah, me too. Like I've seen it all over TikTok. Like people are just like when I remember like that embarrassing thing that I did 5 years
Yeah.
ago, like I feel like no one remembers, But at the same time, sometimes I do remember embarrassing things that like people have done in the past, and then I'm like, oh no, what if they remember my mistake? You know what I mean? Like on the off chance that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just try to convince myself that, like, no one cares that much about my life to remember all of the weird things that I did.
That's true. No, and I feel like back to like the math class thing, like I'm always telling myself, like at least in the past, that I am not good at math, which is why I consequently don't do well on the math tests. Like it really doesn't make sense that there's that connection, like just because I say I'm bad at math doesn't mean that I like should do worse on like a test, but it actually that's how it is. Like if I think that I'm bad at math and I have like for example, like a way to do a proof, I'm going to be like, well, I don't think that's going to work. Like I doubt myself and that causes me to like lose time, to lose like points and things like that. So I think like the biggest takeaway for me from the past like experiences that I've had with imposter syndrome is that what you believe like actually comes true about yourself. like for me right now, I'm like trying to be less negative about like what I do in math class, just so that I like, you know, can take risks more.
Yeah. I think okay, the problem is if I didn't participate in a class at the beginning, I just feel awkward suddenly trying to participate like after it, like 2 months have already passed. But it's like, it's honestly like, it's not like weird, but I just
Yeah.
make it out to be.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Also, like, I feel like teachers don't really care. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, they don't keep track of, like, oh, this person has raised their hand, like, 5 times in the last month, so they can't raise their hand
Okay,
again.
and some of my teachers cold call, so it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
no, I can think of my French teacher, history teacher, and comp sci teacher. They all just call on you. Like you don't have a choice.
That's true. Oh, but what I do to, like, get, like, to not do that is I, like, volunteer on the easy questions. You know, so then they're like, oh, like, they've raised their hand today, so I'm not going to cold call on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, okay. In my French class, our teacher, she has like a spinner
Hmm.
with the names, and I literally like every question I just pray that it doesn't land on my name.
Oh my God, my math teacher last year had that.
Burmese. I have him
Burmese,
this year.
he has like this
The random
programmed
chooser.
thing
Yeah.
that like chooses a name randomly, and then if it's me, like I usually get it wrong.
I feel like I've gotten really lucky with the random name choosers because I don't think I get chosen that often. Like there are some people who, for some reason, they get chosen like
All
over
the
and over.
time.
Like they always get chosen, but I get chosen like once a class maybe or less.
Yeah, yeah, that's me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's all for today.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.